September the 9th, 2024. Guys, what a beautiful day here in central Mississippi. Very cool, nice, sunny. Just can't beat this type of weather. For me now, a lot of you are like that. I don't like it too hot, don't like it too cold, but we can't have it our way all the time unless our seasons go back into balance. But guys, here we have two storms. Both have a 60% chance of development, this one and this one. This one is the one of the models yesterday showed having an impact in Georgia. This one looks like it may venture further north. Notice how far or how close they are, to the Cabo Verde Islands right there. Remember that convergence zone has moved 150 miles, and that would definitely make up for that because normally they will come out about right here, guys. And you'll hear the report saying 100 or 200 miles south-southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands, things like that. And that was definitely different. Now, this has been going on for at least a year because that's how long we've been tracking the difference in the sunset and the sunrise, things like that. And that, in truth, is telling us that we may not be through with that drift. Remember, there was a video we did a few months back about that the equator moving north all the way possibly into the U.S. Well, the convergence zone is down here, was down here. Now it's more up right in this area. So we talked about this last night on Paul's channel. Will that change the climate in certain areas? The desert southwest will start to see more rain. Now, if the El Nino comes back, that definitely is a possibility. And the deserts to your right over Africa, Sudan, and all that, they're getting flooded with a year's worth of rain, or 5 years worth of rain the other day in one 48-hour period. Think about that. Or we're going to see a regrowth of some of those areas in the desert. We'll just have to wait and see. But right now, this thing is very likely to become a Cat 2 or stronger hurricane now. Yesterday it was going to be a cat or a hurricane by 1 p.m. Wednesday. Now that's backed up 12 hours to 1 a.m. in that morning. So, again, you've got maximum sustained winds now, 45 knots, 50 miles per hour. Central pressure is 1,003 millibars. Movement is west or northwest at 4 knots or 5 miles an hour, very slow. That's going to give it all the time it needs to gather that heat from the Gulf itself. The path has not changed that much from yesterday. Here's the difference. At 1 p.m. Wednesday, it was supposed to become a hurricane off the coast. But look, at 1 a.m., again, 12 hours earlier than predicted, becoming a hurricane here. I hope that we do not have another Camille. It got up to a Cat 5 strength. I think it came ashore as a Cat 3 down on the Mississippi and Louisiana coast. Remember, the people flooded out in New Orleans. A lot of people lost their lives. The Gulf Coast of Mississippi will never be the same. So many of the old houses and a lot of the older hotels and all were gone. I told you we were down there to cover the hurricane, and they evacuated us out, forced evacuation out of our hotel across the highway, exactly across the highway from what is now the Hard Rock Cafe in Biloxi. And I have a picture somewhere of where they were dropping. The storm was coming in, was still several hours out, raining and wind blowing, but a crane still had the neck of that guitar up in the air. It had not been attached to the big sign out in front, and it was saying on the sign, mandatory evacuations. We came back in a couple of days. We could not find the hotel that they made us leave from. I've told you this story. And you could tell with Hard Rock, they were built a lot stronger, more hurricane resistant, things like that. But all the smaller hotels that were really nice, restaurants across from there, it was just about 4 blocks of sand in either direction. Stop signs were gone. You could not really tell where the lot was of that hotel. And I lived there for 4 years, so very familiar with the area. I hope we don't have that. But, guys, I want you to write now in your minds in Louisiana, Galveston, Mississippi, prepare for another Katrina. In your mind, in your preps. That way you will not be caught off guard. Just telling you. Listen to me. I've been through a lot of these storms since Betsy in 1964-65 hurricane season that was in came up the Mississippi River, kind of wiped out all the trolley cars in New Orleans. They were everywhere. Now you got a couple that are kind of token remembrance of what was going on, but it did a lot of damage itself. Broke the levee down in the lower part of the Mississippi River. At that time, I was going to what was called Buras High School. It was for all 12 grades, but that was the name of it. And the big levee somewhere back in that area broke, and a lot of flooding occurred. But again, Camille, Michael, things like that, and Ivan, the one that took out the bridge as you get past to the back bay of Pensacola up there. What is that on the I-10 bridge there? We pulled up, came over that hill, looking at that, and the bridge was gone. The interstate bridge was gone. That's amazing. So there's a lot of power, and we haven't had a strong storm in this area in the last month or so. So the heat has built back up. It's going to go right up the Mississippi River, pretty much right over our area, and be up here by Saturday morning's tropical depression. At the very southern tip of Illinois and Indiana, still hugging that Mississippi River. Look at that. Now here the cone widens out somewhat, so you could get a little further into Tennessee. Right now, we're directly under the northeast quadrant. Now, this is the rainfall that's expected. This is day 1 through 5, forecast inches. This was created today. The orange areas, you got 8 to 12 inches. Right here, you can see on your side. I don't see any reds there going above a foot yet. Then your yellow areas are 6 to 4. The dark greens 2 to 4. Outside of that is 1 to 2 inches in this area. So southern Mississippi, Lake Charles, you're really going to get it. New Orleans, you're going to be under the gun very quickly. Make sure that you prepared for the flooding there. You may want to get out of town if you can. And if someone's there, let us know. I haven't been down there in a few years, but aren't they working on that new levee? Or it may be completed, the one that broke. And you got the 9th Ward that flooded out and other places like that. But let us know if you are from the New Orleans area, if the new levee is ready. I think the Corps of Engineers was doing that. And guys, look what happened 4 minutes ago as we were looking at the other chart. Tropical storm Francine formed just in that quick period of time. Look at that. Now, we're going to look at our satellite images, and we're going to look at our models, too. But, yeah, that's how fast this thing is developing. 45 knots, 50 miles an hour, again, should be. But Francine reminds me of the old ZZ Top song from the first album. Again, these storms are 60% chance, but check that out. And looking at this satellite over the Gulf itself this morning, guys, it looks like the two storms that we were concerned about have merged. One solid, large, massive rotation from here all the way around. Check this out. I don't know if there's two different centers of circulation in there. It's hard to say. But it looks like, guys, we have a monster in the Gulf of Mexico. Just saying. And look at this, guys. Everything is merging. You can see right in there. They're together now. Guys, I'm going to put out the ultimate warning for the Gulf Coast. This thing is getting in hot water. It's rapidly advancing in speed. And just the sight of this lets you know those black clouds coming out white on the top are very, very high. This is a very powerful centered storm. It will take this no time to become a Cat 1 hurricane. And you still have from here, this is the Louisiana shoreline here. Again, man, this thing looks really bad. Now, the Fox Hurricane Center down in Tampa updated 5 minutes again also. All the models are bringing right here except this white model called the TABS. Everything right here, guys. Louisiana, New Orleans are going to be in this quadrant. Any further drift of here, the levees better hold. That's all I can say. I'm starting my preps as soon as this video is over with. I'm going to check my solar panels. I'm going to do a few other things. It's going to get rough. That's all I can say. Now, this is NavGem, the Navy model, one of the most accurate when it comes right down to it, especially the last few days. It really gets it right almost every time, and you saw all the other models converging with it. Let's stop it right there as it comes ashore, or starts to come to shore. Right there, September 11th, 2 days away, and it's too late to prepare. Let's go back a day. 11th there, 10th right there, guys. That is tomorrow. Are you prepared? Texas, are you prepared? Louisiana, my friends, all through Mississippi, Mobile. If this thing drifts any further, you're going to get it. Now, what we have seen happen many times is when one of these things come ashore, and I tell you this almost every season, is that there will be a tail drifting out into the Gulf or even further into the Caribbean, pulling moisture up around it. And every year, that's where we see the tornadoes start to form. The storm will be pretty much ashore, but that tail end that's still got a lot of activity in it will fire off the tornadoes. So we got to watch all of those things. We'll play it through again. Now, I'm going to play it through one more time, but this is the first frame today on the 9th. You're starting to see some development, but this is downplaying what we are seeing with our eyes. That's why I always start with my satellite images before I do anything else as far as these models or looking at what the Hurricane Center is saying or Fox is saying. Visual. And that's a major deal. I think that's one of the most accurate ways, and thank goodness we have the satellites up there that allow us to see. We're not dependent on lamestream, okay? We can see for ourselves, and that's a blessing. One day they'll probably take the satellite feed away from us, and we won't see that. But notice it's not really showing it as strong as it looks. That's my point. So as we step it forward again, rapid intensification, that's now we're in the 10th, right up through there. Now let's take a look at the Canadian model. It's going to show a couple of different things that goes out a little further. So we'll start back on the 9th here. Intensification now. It's not coming ashore like the edge was yesterday in that report, following the same path. When these two merge, you pretty much got it nailed down to within just a few miles. But look right here. Now this one is forming. This one's going up. There's a Francine. Here's the first system we're seeing wobble off the African coast is right in here. You can't really define it yet. There it pops up. But this one right here may become trouble. Yesterday it was looking like from the Euro model it would go into Georgia. But we'll watch it very closely. We got some time. Right now let's focus on the Gulf because, guys, it's going to travel up through here. And a lot of people are going to experience this. But I'll start doing more reports in the next 2 days. Today we'll probably have 2 more as we watch the intensification and stay right on top of it until this thing is cleared out of here. We're watching it. There's other things we're watching too, but we're watching this right now, guys. It's a heads up. Be safe.